Right. So welcome to the training. I'm Ashish here. So I'll be telling you the very basic thing, that is the question which is being asked. What is the difference between RC and WebDriver? Look, initially when Selenium came into the market, there were three components in Selenium. This was way back in 2007-6. When I looked at this tool for the first time, I exactly don't know when it came up for the first time. Like, I had a look at it in 2007. Right. Initially, there was a tool known as RC in Selenium, and there's something known as IDE, and there's something known as GRID. These are the three components. Okay. So RC, IDE, and GRID were the three components. Um, Hold on. I thought somebody asked me a question. Fine. Just a minute. Right. Now, IDE. IDE as a tool was rather is majorly working in, it only works in Mozilla. It's primarily a record run tool. Many of you must have seen it. Okay. And it's got limitations. It's got a lot of limitations. For example, if you have got 1000 test cases to execute, generate reports and all, in IDE you don't get any reporting and all. Fine. So there are limitations. Moreover, IDE only works on Mozilla. Right. If you have a website which has got just 2 pages and has to be just tested roughly or something like that, you can use IDE. But if you want to make some professional test cases, having good reporting into them, having parameterization, getting the data from some external source and all, so IDE is not the right tool for that. Okay. So earlier we used to use something known as Selenium RC, which works on multiple browsers. Okay, and it is supported by multiple languages as well. What do I mean by multiple languages? You can write Selenium RC code in Java, you can write in C#, you can write in Ruby, you can write in Python, okay, Perl, PHP, fine. So there are various languages in which you can implement Selenium RC. All right. Now, apart from this, Ruby, Perl, PHP was also there, right? I've written the wrong spelling of Ruby. Fine. Now, it's independent of the website. Don't think that if the website is made in Java, you need to use Selenium RC with Java. It's not like that. No matter what, in which language is your website made, you have to use Selenium RC. You can use it in any language. You can use it in Java, RC, Ruby. You can do anything. But the thing is, Java is more popular because it is an open source tool and a lot of help is available in Java. Somebody was asking about the support. Fine. Well, for Java, there is a very good help available online. There are forums and all where you can post your questions. Okay. Now, if you are, hold on, if you look at this, hold on, right. Over a period of time, what happened was, it was realized that RC has got a lot of drawbacks. Okay. So Google came up and Google made WebDriver. WebDriver was the advanced, you can say the next generation. Fine. So this was known as Selenium 1.0 and WebDriver is known as Selenium 2.0. Okay, like RC, Selenium WebDriver also supported multiple browsers, multiple languages and all, but it had got many other features as well. A common thing being that if you look at Selenium RC, sorry, not the common thing, the difference, like one of the major differences, like if you work on Selenium RC, then you have to open up command prompt again and again and start and stop the server in RC. But in WebDriver there was no server. This was the major advantage. Okay, so WebDriver, it came up in 2011 and it's really good. And from 2011, Selenium has started gaining a lot of popularity. Okay, because WebDriver, it came up. IDE is still there. Fine. Kumar, I'll just answer your question. IDE is still there. And GRID. GRID has evolved into GRID 2. Now, what is GRID? GRID helps you to execute your test cases parallelly. Okay, suppose you have got 500 test cases and you have to execute them on Mozilla, you have to execute on I, you have to execute them on Chrome. So what GRID does is it helps us to make a centralized hub, right? With this centralized hub, you can connect various other machines, right? And on each and every machine, you can distribute your test cases and you can run them parallelly. Probably on one machine you can run all the test cases on Mozilla, on one all on I, on one all on Chrome. So it saves a lot of time. Fine. Now GRID 1 was with RC, GRID 2 also supports WebDriver. Alright. Now this is the complete story. So Selenium is not just one tool, it's got multiple tools inside it. Fine. So if you are a beginner, you can directly start learning WebDriver. There is no need for you to learn RC. RC is obsolete now. It's been deprecated. Fine. So you can directly start working on WebDriver. You don't need to have the knowledge of RC. RC and WebDriver, they are completely different. Like people who have worked on 5 to 6 years on Selenium, right? When they look at the WebDriver code, like I had friends who worked only on RC, right? And when they looked at the WebDriver code, they were not able to understand it. Fine. This is because the WebDriver, it's completely different. You can say it's a very different tool than RC. They have completely revamped it when they were migrating, when they were evolving a WebDriver, right? So as we proceed with the course, by tomorrow I'll actually tell you the actual differences, the technical ones, right, involved in the architecture, right? So now the question being asked is, can we test application built on Silverlight? Look, RC and like rather Selenium is not a tool which was primarily made for testing Flash-based applications or Silverlight. If you go to this module over here, Flash testing, right? Although I've explained Flash-based testing here, even I have gone and in these modules I have shown how to manage a YouTube video. You write some Selenium code and you can play back a YouTube video, pause it, forward it. You can do that, fine. But Selenium is not a tool which is primarily made for RC, for Flex and Silverlight applications. Okay, I have seen people who have tried to implement it, right? Who have tried to automate the Flash or Silverlight applications with Selenium, and they face a pretty bad time because it's not a tool. There is no direct command to automate. Okay, you need for moreover if you are automating a Flash based or a Silverlight based application with Selenium, you need to have the code of that application. I just cannot go and test any Flash or Silverlight based portal on any web page. I need to have the code of that, the internal code. Okay. Do you need to have knowledge of IDE? No, Rajkumar. IDE is pretty simple. Okay. If you want to learn WebDriver, it's not mandatory to learn IDE. RC, IDE, and WebDriver, they are completely different. They know none of them is dependent on each other. Okay. So don't no nothing, only GRID is dependent. Okay, in GRID, what happens in GRID is that we make the code in WebDriver and then we use GRID, we integrate GRID with it to run the test cases parallelly. Okay, but RC, IDE, and WebDriver, they are not at all interlinked. Okay, so now fine. Let's do one thing, right? So I'll start with yes, Sushmita. I'm recording the sessions. I'll give you the upload. I'll give you the link. RC and ID are outdated. Is it necessary to learn these tools? This is the question is being asked. Are you covering in this? Look, I'm not covering RC and ID in the class. It's not feasible for me to cover so many things in a single class. Rather, I give the recorded sessions, pre-recorded sessions, all the 43 modules. These contains RC, these contains IDE, these contains everything, right? So you can have a look at them after the class. What I'll be covering in class is WebDriver because it's the latest version and that's what everybody wants to learn, and I'll be covering frameworks. Okay, so Kumar, it's not so easy to test Swing with Selenium. Saw some Google blogs where RC supports Silverlight 4 version. Kumar, you can see that many people they try to say that you can do it, but when you practically go and start implementing it, you realize that there are so many hurdles in your way to automate Silverlight. No, Anand, I only cover Java. I don't cover Python and Ruby. Yeah, you can get some support. Yeah, fine. Yes, Java and WebDriver and GRID, this combination you should be learning first. Out of all these things which I have told you, the first thing you should be learning is you should be learning Java, then WebDriver, then you should be learning frameworks, and then GRID. At least if you learn this much, right, you have a starting point. You have a very good starting point. Fine, you can market your resume in the market and all, and you can start off. This is the minimum thing. Okay, Ruby is also easy. It's not difficult. Okay, now Java language is required. Knowledge of core Java language is required. I'll be covering this along with the course. Right, Kumar, I'll answer that with the course. I'll answer a question, the standard protocol. Right. Okay. Now, let us. No, Bhagat, I'm not going to cover BDD, but I'll provide you videos on BDD because BDD is majorly used by companies in UK, like Cucumber BDD. It's not used by companies in India or very few companies in US. So actually, not everybody wants it, to be very honest. So I'll be giving you the training videos, the pre-recorded sessions. Fine. Okay. Now coming over to Java language. I think Java is installed on everybody's machine because you were able to join the WebEx conference, right? Java is required to join the WebEx conference. Okay, now what you need to do is that you need to download Eclipse on your machine, which I think almost everybody would be having. If you don't have Eclipse, you can download Eclipse. You can go to Eclipse downloads over here. And you can download the Eclipse over here, the Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers, depending on your Windows version, whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit. Fine. If you are having a 64-bit machine, okay, it is better that you download JDK as well, because Eclipse sometimes gives an issue. So you download JDK as well in case you have a 64-bit machine. Go to this page, go to this JDK link. I'll give this link on chat to everyone. Fine. So depending on your OS, right, install JDK. Right, you have to download it from here. If you are having a 64-bit machine, then I would strongly recommend this. Fine. Now, once you download Eclipse and extract the RAR file, right, you will get a, hold on, you'll get a folder like this, Eclipse. Fine. Inside this Eclipse folder, you will have eclipse.exe. You double click on it and Eclipse will start. Eclipse comes as a bundle. Fine. What is Eclipse? Eclipse is the editor for Java language. For example, if you learn C, then you have to write the code in Turbo C editor, right? Okay. Eclipse is like the editor for Java language. You have to write Java code using Eclipse. All right. It's a very professional way of development. Right? When you start Eclipse, you will get a window like this. This is the workspace launcher window. You have to specify a path over here, right? I'll specify this path, August weekday. This is the workspace path. Workspace path means this is the location where I will be making all the projects, where I will be storing all the projects for your batch. Okay, so you select this and click on OK, and Eclipse will start. Just hold on. Right. Okay, this is Eclipse. Fine, the welcome screen. You can close the welcome screen, and right, you'll get a page like this. Fine. So out here, this is the central part in which you'll write all the code. At the bottom, you'll get the output. Oh, this is at the bottom. You'll get the output. On the left side, you'll be storing all your projects. So all the projects will be visible here. Files will be visible here. Right. This is where you code, and this is where you get the output. Okay, I'll tell you. Right. Let us create a first simple Eclipse project. Okay, I'll right click and I'll say new project over here. Right click in the project explorer. This is project explorer. Fine. New project. Okay, you scroll down and in Java select Java project. I think what I'll do is I'll increase the resolution of my machine. That will make it very clear. Hold on, just hold on 1 minute. Oh, this is too big. Hold on. Parents settings. I think this much will be okay. Right, I think this will be better in the view. Right, you'll be able to look at it in more clearly. Right, so what you need to do is that right click, select new project, and select under Java project. Okay, click on next, and you have to give your project some name. I'll give it Selenium Day 1. Okay, now I am assuming that you know basics of programming. That is, you know at least what an if statement is, what a for loop is, right? What if else then, for loop, while loop. You know these stuff, right? If you're a very beginner, if you don't know anything in programming, right, or if you're not so confident, fine. What I recommend people is generally that don't go for the online training directly. If you're not so comfortable, right, you can go for the videos. I have made videos on these topics, right? You can buy the videos, get the access to them, start learning from them, watch them for some time, and after that join the online training by paying the remaining fee. That is whatever is the difference fee between the video training and the online fee. You pay that and join the online training. This way you will come to the class with a background. Okay, and that helps a lot after you watch the videos and come here, right? But if you're kind of person who knows a little bit of programming, who thinks that you will be comfortable, then you can join the class as well, right? So in the trial classes you'll be able to judge. Okay, so this is the project which I made, Selenium Day 1. If you expand this project, you'll see the source folder and you'll see GRE system library. GRE system library is actually Java which is installed on your machine. Fine. GRE system library is actually the Java which is actually installed in your machine. Source folder is the one in which you will keep all your code, the Java code and all. If you physically go to the location where the project is lying, fine. How do you do that? Oh, my Eclipse has hanged. Yeah. You right click on the project, fine. Go to the properties of the project and go to Java build path option. Fine. Java build path option has got various tabs in it, so we'll be using these tabs, right? Please remember this thing is very important. Right click properties. Fine. Now a question is being asked. I don't see JRE system library when I create Java project. Kumar, just do it after the class. Don't try to do it parallelly. You will be stuck. Fine. Make sure you are in the Java perspective. You click on this box and click other, and make sure Java perspective is selected or selected manually. Fine. To work with Selenium, work in Java perspective of Eclipse. There are various perspectives in Eclipse, fine, which is not required by you. Okay. So make sure that you are in Java perspective. Alright. When you right click on the project and you go to the properties, you have got various properties for this project. We'll be looking at them as we proceed with the course. In the resource property, you will have the path of the project. Okay. This path, if you copy this is the physical location of the project. If you go here, you will see various folders out here, out of which only the source folder is visible inside Eclipse. Okay, what is dot settings, dot class path, I'll tell you all of these things. Dot project file means that it is an Eclipse project. If you delete that, this project will never open in Eclipse. Okay, so don't fiddle with these things. I'll tell you what they are. Fine. Now I'll make a simple Java file. Okay. In your source folder, you right click on the source folder, select new class. Okay. Select new class and give it a name that is, for example, I'll call it sample Java. Okay. And check on this checkbox, public static void main. Fine. You will have this kind of code generated. Fine. Hold on, I'll just increase the font size so that you are able to see clearly. I hope this will be clear. Fine. So this is a class which is generated with public static, the name of the class sample Java. Okay. Sorry, public class, name of the class sample Java, and public static void main. Now what is this public? What is static? Fine. How these things work, right? In the beginning, fine. In the beginning, just accept things as they are, right? As I proceed with the course, as I tell you the concepts of object-oriented programming, things will be very clear to you. Okay, for time being, just accept that this is a class and this class has got a main function inside it. Fine. What is static? To make you understand all these things, I have to tell you the concepts of object-oriented programming. Look, this is the major mistake which many people do. They don't focus on Java when they are learning Selenium. Okay, and then they feel that there is no enough documentation on the net, there is no help on the net. Okay, well, documentation is there, help is there, everything is there. If you actually go to the Selenium website, that is seleniumhq.org, and go to the download section, fine, you will see that with the language Java there is a Java doc available. If you open this Java doc, this is actually the documentation of Selenium, but it is technical, it is object oriented in nature. So that's why the first thing which you should focus on is learning the object oriented principles of Java language. Okay, and that's what I'll focus on. Once I cover OOPS concept, you can actually have a look at this documentation. You'll be able to understand gradually. Okay, now if I have to print something in Java in the main function, you can write system.out.println hello Selenium, right? Something like that. The command is system.out.println. You can type SYSO and hit Control spacebar of your keyboard. This will come up. Fine. So you can write s by so plus control plus space of the keyboard. This is the shortcut. Right. Now when you run this, you can run this from the top. This is the icon to run this program in Eclipse. Find the small icon. You will see the output at the bottom, hello Selenium, right? Or you can right click on this file and select the option run as Java application. Okay, so this will print hello Selenium. Fine. Now apart from this, in Java also you have got integers. You can write int x equals to 100. You have got strings, string y equals to we are learning something like that, right? All the data types and all which are there in other languages are also present in Java. Okay, now I would strongly recommend you that if you are not so comfortable with loops, if you are not so comfortable with data types and all, go and watch training video 1 and training video 2, which is open for everybody, right? This will give you a very good insight. Okay, now if I am running this program, it is printing hello Selenium. Okay, if you go to the physical location where the project is lying, then in the source folder you will see sample.java file which I just created. Okay, and in the bin folder you will see sample java.class file. .class file is the file which is generated when the program compiles in Java. Okay, this class file is like an executable file. If I have to give client the code, like I'll not give him the code, I'll give him the class file, because he'll not be able to open it, he'll not be able to understand what's in it, but he will be able to execute this class file. Okay, for example, in the source folder I'll make another class known as, say, hello, right? And in this class also I type system.out.println hello. If I run this code, fine, and if I go to the bin folder, you will find that inside the bin folder of project you have hello.class file. Okay, so this means that every Java file gets converted to a class file, right? And this class file is the one which actually executes, and this class file is actually delivered to the client. Fine. Now suppose if I have a big project, then in the big project I have made number of class files. I have made 1000 class files. Okay, then how do I give these class files to the client, right? So what we do is that we put all the class files together into a single file known as jar file and give it to the client. Okay, so what is a jar file? Jar file is something which is having many class files. And what is a class file? A class file is something which is generated from each and every Java file. Okay, now just a minute, a question is being asked. Let me know. Right, now the jar file consists of many class files, right? What happens when you actually install Java on your machine? This is JRE system library in Eclipse, right? I told you this is Java. Okay, if you expand this, you will find many jar files. Sorry, I'm sorry, right? Each and every jar file over here has got many class files in it. Okay, if you expand these jar files, each and every jar file has got number of class files. So nothing happens when you install Java on your machine. Fine, when you install Java, nothing but these jar files, they are downloaded into your system, and Java is nothing but a set of jar files each jar file having a number of class files in it. You use these class files to work in Java, like to actually work with Java, you actually use these class files. For example, if you have to do some date and time function, if you have to manipulate, if you have to do something with date, you have to pull out the system date. Then you use a class file known as date.class. You can use this, and this will actually pull out the system date if you want, or if you want to store the date in the database, then this can help you out, right? So similarly, there are many other class files as well. Okay, right? Now, similarly, when you download Selenium, okay, if you go to seleniumhq.org and if you go to this download section, you will see Java over here, client version 2.35. This is the latest version of Selenium. Fine. If you download this latest version, okay, it will take some time. I'll tell you the existing one. It will download as a zip file, and if you extract that zip file, fine, you will get a folder over here, Selenium Java 2.33, which I have. If you open this folder, you will have jar files. These are the two jar files, and in the library you will have many other jar files. So Selenium also never comes as an exe file. Don't think that Selenium will be installed on your system. You'll have to. These are the jar files for WebDriver. Okay, these are jar files for WebDriver. WebDriver is never coming in as an exe like QTP. The exe file comes up, double click on it, and it gets installed on your system. You see the icon on the desktop. That's not there with Selenium. Okay, Selenium will always come in form of jar files. Each and every of these jar files has got many class files which are made by people who made Selenium, and they have given those class files to you so that you can work with them and you can use them. Okay, how will I work with them? How will I use them? I'll talk about that later on, but first I'll tell you how you can import these jars inside Eclipse. Because the jars of Java are inside Eclipse, you are able to write the Java code. And similarly, you will have to include the jars of Selenium as well inside Eclipse if you have to work with Selenium. Fine. So what you need to do is that right click on the project, go to the properties, fine, and go to Java build path. I'll tell you again, right click. I'm recording this session, you can also have the recorded sessions, right? Go to the properties and you will see the option Java build path. In Java build path, there are various tabs. Okay, you need to go into the libraries tab, alright, and you need to click on this icon over here, add external jars. Fine, and you go forward and go to the location where you have downloaded Selenium. Now you have to include these two jars. Okay, these are the major jars, and along with that, don't forget to include the jars in library folder. Many times people forget that, and then Selenium never works properly. Okay, you have to open the library section, select all the jars, and you have to put it. And you'll see the reference library section coming up in Eclipse. In this reference library section, you will have all these jars. Okay, now how do I work with these jars? How do I work with Selenium? How do I access the classes, class files which are present inside the jar? The predefined class files of Selenium. To understand that, you have to understand the concept of object-oriented programming. Fine. So before I do that, before I tell you about that, anybody having any questions? Anybody having any questions regarding anything like whatever I have taught? What is the difference between exe and class file? Look, exe is directly executable. You double click on it and it will execute. But class file, you have to run it. You have to run it specifically through Eclipse or through command prompt. If I want to utilize the class file, I can utilize it using Eclipse, or I can utilize it using command prompt. Okay, but exe is a general Windows based file. You can double click on it and it will execute. Okay, all right. Selenium works in all latest version of browser. Yes, it does. In Firefox 23, it is giving issues these days. Depends on some of the operating systems. In Windows 8 and Firefox 23, it is giving issues. But if you switch over to Firefox 20, it works fine. Fine. And yes, it is compatible with the various browser versions. Yes. Any other question from anybody? How can I show my Selenium experience? Will you be doing some live projects and preparing it? Look, yes, that is the main motive of the course. Majority of the people are here for a job search and they want to get a job, and some of the people over here they want to work in their existing Selenium projects. That's why they are in for the training, right? Now, yes, in this course, I'll be taking up a lot of practical examples. I'll be taking up a project as well, and end-to-end implementation in this training as well. Okay, and moreover, if you look at my website, these recorded videos will be helping you a lot. If you look at the module 18, like it is almost 3 hours. Module 19 is for around 8 hours. So these are all projects. Okay, module 20 is again 8 hours. Module 21 is also again 8 hours. Right. All these are projects. Like for example, over here I've covered page object model. Right. These videos are again projects. Okay, so these will really help you out. All right. And regarding interview questions, look, many people have come over to the training to me in past 3 years. So what I did was I made a forum and I put all those people in a forum and I asked them to put the interview questions which they face in Selenium, right? So you will be getting access to that forum as well. That forum has got lots and lots of interview questions. It's too big. You will be able to actually help yourself with that, right? Do we need to manually add Selenium jar files for updated versions, or it automatically updates? You have to manually add every time. Mohan, the question being asked is, today I have added Selenium Java jar 2.33. If tomorrow Selenium version updates, what I have to do? You have to manually add the updated version. You have to remove these jars and you have to add them, add the new ones. Okay. Can we do UI testing like you? Yeah, you can do UI testing like QTP as well. Okay, you can do. If people want, I can cover POM, Bhagat. If people want, I can tell what page object model is. It depends on batch to batch. Sometimes a batch never wants. It depends what people want. Look, there is a level where I can take you, right? I can teach you something, then I can teach you WebDriver. I can teach you examples in WebDriver. Now, after that, there will be many things which you can learn. You can learn page object model, you can learn JUnit, you can learn TestNG, you can make a hybrid framework, you can make a data driven framework, you can make a keyword framework. So I go by the majority, what people want me to do in the class. Okay. Mitul, I'm not going to cover iPhone driver testing in the class because not everybody wants it, first of all. Secondly, iPhone development is not free, it is a paid. You have to pay Apple to develop it. Even if I tell you, you will not be able to test it. But yes, in the course, I have covered the Android based driver, how to test Android with Selenium. Please note, you cannot test Android based applications with Selenium. Many people say that you can do that, but it's not so simple when you try to practically do it. Selenium is a browser automation tool. If you want to test how your website is opening in Android based phone, you can do that. Okay, fine. Yeah, Sahai, I'll be doing that. Yes, JUnit or TestNG in detail, that I have to do that is mandatory. Okay, so with Android, with Selenium, you can only test your websites on the phone. All right. So any other questions from anybody? You can contact me on Skype if you have questions. My Skype ID is QTP Selenium. My name is Ashish. Right. And moreover, for the members of the training, I also have a forum where you can post your questions. Okay. All right, fine. What I'll do is I'll stop here. Today was basically a interactive session on questions and answers basically. Tomorrow we'll actually look at Selenium. We'll see how to use these jars. We'll see how the objective program object. We'll see the concepts of object-oriented programming. We'll see how to use the class files in these jars. How to work with Selenium basically. From tomorrow onwards we'll start. Okay. You'll get the recorded session in your email. Fine. This is my email ID. If you have any questions, you can send it to me. Or if you want to send me a message, you can go to the contact. You can go to the home page. Fine. In case you want to send me a message or in case you are interested in joining the training, you can click on the contact trainer link over here. Okay. And send me a message from here. All right. The mail directly comes up in my email ID. The message directly comes up in my email ID. So in case you are interested to join the course, you can go to the home page qtpselenium.com, click on contact trainer and send me a message as well. Okay. How jars are made? Okay, if I miss a class in future, yes, you can see the video. I record all the classes. If you miss a class, you can see the video. How a jar is made? Look, for making a jar, it's very simple. For example, if I want to convert this project into a jar, right? You right click on it, select export and general. Hold on. Under Java, you will find the option jar file. Click on next. You give the path where you want to store it. I'll give that in my desktop. I want to store in logs with the name, say hello.jar, and you can finish it and you will be able to export it. It's quite simple. Logs. Okay, it did not come up. Hold on. Export. Just a minute. Jar. Okay, it came on desktop. I'm sorry, I gave the wrong path. Yeah, this is the one. Hello.jar. You see that on the desktop? It is created. You can simply export your project to jar file. You will not be required to do that in Selenium in the beginning, right? Okay, any other question? Yes, obviously I'll have to cover Ant and all. Ant is very important. Maven also, like these are not look, Ant, Maven, these are not technical tools that much. Okay, these are just configuration tools. The main thing is WebDriver. Okay, you can learn Ant, you can learn Maven. I'll also tell you it is all about configuration, nothing else. Okay, for people who don't know what Ant is, Ant helps you to run your projects from command prompt. If I have a Selenium project and if you have to run the project from command prompt or Unix-based shell, you can use Ant for that. Okay. Yes, Monica, you can use Selenium to test Salesforce. In the recorded videos, rather I've used Salesforce only. Right. Java EE is Kumar something used by the developers. Don't focus on that. It's enterprise edition. No, Adam, you cannot get access to all the videos before or in the trial class. I'm hosting the paid videos with Cisco. So I have to pay them to create your account on the Cisco servers. Then only you get access to the paid videos. Right. Okay, fine, guys. I'll send you the meeting link for tomorrow's class as well. You can join in and I'll send you the recorded video for today's class as well. Okay. So thank you everyone, and thank you for your time. Right. I hope I answered all your questions. Thank you.